Angelo's Pizza and the World Pizza Champions. I want to show you how to compete in the fastest dough competition. It's a competition that you'll find at the World Pizza Games in Las Vegas at the International Pizza Expo, put on by Pizza Today magazine, and you'll also find this at the World Pizza Championships over in Italy, put on by Pizza and Pasta magazine. Now, this is a competition that I've won on a national level, and I've also gotten a silver medal at the World Pizza Championships in Italy in 2005. And I want to show you some of the different tips, the techniques, different ways you can go about this competition. Some things that work well for me, some things that I've seen work well for others. Everyone has their own technique. But this competition is one that goes by just a blink of an eye, and you want to make sure you've got this one down before you even attempt it. You just have to make sure you understand the rules fully before going into the competition. When you're slapping out these pizzas as fast as you can, you don't want to have to worry about trying to figure out what the rules are as you go. Now, each competition is going to have a little bit different set of rules. Each competition is going to change from year to year. We've seen some of the rules change over the years, but basically it's all the same. Both competitions, these two international competitions, are taking 5 dough balls and making them out to fit roughly a 12-inch pizza screen. Now, over in Italy, of course, it's the metric system, so it's a little bit smaller than a 12-inch screen. It's maybe a fraction of an inch smaller than a 12-inch, but it's basically the same. The World Pizza Games, you've got a slightly bigger dough ball. Italy, you've got a slightly smaller dough ball. Italy, it's much more of a challenge than it is here. The World Pizza Games, it's a 10-ounce dough ball. Italy, it's about a 7-ounce dough ball. They stretch their pizzas out a lot thinner over there. So you want to make sure you understand all these different rules. Both competitions, you've got 5 dough balls. You want to get these out to cover a 12-inch screen as fast as you can. You need to cover the screen totally, no metal showing whatsoever. If these pizzas shrink back on you as you're going, they'll make you go back and fix them. But I'm going to show you, I'll go over all of that here in a minute. I'll show you all the different ways that you can get a better time, and hopefully it'll work out well for you. With the fastest dough competition, there are several basic things you want to keep in mind. Make sure you remove all jewelry off your fingers. Watches, rings, any of that have to go, or else you'll just end up tearing a hole right in the dough. Make sure you've got some loose fitting clothes, something that won't kind of restrain you as you're slapping, spinning, putting the dough down. You don't want anything to kind of hold you back, restrain you from your fluid movements. And then some of the basic other really simple things. Make sure you've got enough rest. Make sure you're ready to go. Make sure you are prepared. Make sure you know the rules. You understand. So when the judge says go, you don't have to think. One of the big things that has worked out really, really well for me is to visualize the whole process in your head before you start. I am going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Plan A for soft dough, plan B for hard dough. Have a plan in case the dough is really hard, have a plan in case the dough is really soft. A lot of different methods, a lot of different ways to do it. Just make sure you have a plan and an idea for every scenario that will pop up. Make sure you run through your head exactly what you're going to do. I'm going to do this dough first, this dough next. I'm going to slap this way, put it down this way. If it tears, I'm going to do this. If I get a hole, I'll do that, so forth and so on. Really important. That is one of the biggest, most important things I can stress, is don't fly into the competition blind. Make sure you visualize the entire process in your head before you start. When you get up there, take a minute. Tell the judge you're not ready, visualize it in your head, and make sure it happens the way you want it to happen. Depending on which competition you're at, World Pizza Games or World Pizza Championships, the tables are set up a little different. You have a little more flexibility in Las Vegas at the World Pizza Games at the Pizza Expo. You can pretty much lay the table out however you want to. You can put your screens on this side, put them this way, put them that way, dough over here, dough in the middle, screens on either side. It's up to you. You just cannot touch this dough yourself until the judge says go. You can't flour it until the judge says go. Italy, it's a little different. The World Pizza Championships, they will give you a little leeway, not a whole lot. You can ask for more flour. You definitely need to have plenty of flour. If there's not enough, if you see a dough ball that is a defect, a hole, a little divot missing out of it, point it out to the judge before you start, because once you start, that's it. You've got one shot, and that's it. No redos, no remakes. And I will go over a little bit here. There is some important things to remember when laying out your screens. Some important things if you are allowed to lay your doughs out the way you want them to. Such as in Italy, you do have a little more leeway with the dough, actually. You can have them put a little different if you want to. Las Vegas, everybody gets it the same. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1 in the middle. It's a 5, it's like a 5 on a dice. Okay, for screen layout, you want to make sure your screens are close enough to your dough, so you're not doing a lot of back and forth motion, running from one end of the table to the other. You want to make sure your screens are far enough apart. You don't want to have them butted up against each other. Because when you put the dough down, it's going to overlap, it's going to knock the other one off, it's going to make them just all out of whack. Make sure you have plenty of space between your screens. Make sure they're not too far apart. So they're close enough so you can just grab your dough, put them down, grab your dough, put them down, grab your dough, put them down, without too many back and forth motions, without them bumping into each other. It's very important. You can pretty much put the screens however you want, any kind of configuration, just about anything. Don't get them too close to the edge of the table. When you put your dough on it, it'll go flying off the table. Typically at the competitions, you won't have a backsplash to worry about, so the reverse, the back of the table, if they're too close, the front of the table, they'll flip off. So make sure you keep them away from that outside of the table.